lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Jeremy Lee in the building and every guest that you ever needed. Sports cards after hours keep the hobby heated. Updates, hobby talk like you never seen it. Sports cards live and none could ever beat it. Sports cards is a lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Welcome to another episode of Sports Cards Live with your host, Jeremy Lee.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Fanatics Collect Weekly Hockey Auction Ending Watch Party, October 27, 2024. My name, Jeremy Lee. My co-host, Josh Madigan, running a tad behind, having a few issues, but he will be here very soon, very, very soon. I hope. I spent about, 4 hours with him today already, so we might be getting tired of each other. Maybe that's what's going on here. The professor, first one in the chat. What's going on, Oris? Good to see you. Jacob Dahl. And watching the rest of the Canadiens game, the Montreal. What do we got going on for games? I saw a couple already ended. Just going to check the scores on my phone here because I'm curious what's going on right now. 4-1 Montreal against Philadelphia. Nice. Ooh, Jake Evans with the fourth goal. I got to interview him at the Montreal Expo. Super nice guy, by the way. Cole Caulfield with his eighth. Very nice for the Montreal Canadiens. Saw McDavid had a couple of assists today. Draisaitl a couple goals as Edmonton beat the Red Wings. And the Devils beating the Ducks 5-2 right now. Good, I got like 3 Devils in my fantasy this year. I didn't even pick my own fantasy team this year. I wasn't there. I was here doing a show. So I just took whatever the system gave me. Laura, good evening. Good evening. Thank you, Jacob. Perry, Custom Cards, good evening and hello. All right, let's see. Let's hit the Instagram. I want to go grab the Sports Cards Live affiliate link. If anybody is planning to bid, please use the link. It's awesome. Doesn't cost you anything. I just get a little bit of the commission that would otherwise be earned by Fanatics Collect. So hey, who doesn't want to, redirect some of those funds my way? Makes it fun. I'm grateful if you decide to do that, of course. I'm gonna grab the link. It's in the video description, but I'm gonna go grab it and put it into the chat right now for your convenience. What's up, ladies, man? Yes, Expo bound. Cannot wait. Don't forget about Thursday night networking event at Jack Astor's that I host. Looking forward to seeing a bunch of you there, including you, Todd McDonald. Todd, are you coming to Expo? I think I asked you. Well, you think you're coming. It was, I think you're coming. I hope you are. Be good to see you there. All right, now I'm just going to go over to here for a moment and pause that. I'm going to pin that comment to the top. And there we go in the YouTube chat. So again, thank you if anybody does use the Sports Cards Live affiliate link. Yes, Todd, you're coming. Awesome. Well, let's take a look at what's going on Fanatics Hockey this week. Lots of great cards again. I think it was 130 something altogether. And we have identified 51 to review. Oh, but look who's here. None other than Mr. Josh Madigan. How you doing?
I'm good.
Little tech issues or what?
Yeah, my computer decided it couldn't find the audio drivers. So that's always great when that happens.
Well, glad you made it. I mean, this is feel like we spent all day together. Saw you last night. Have you rested up after that marathon of a recording session today?
I did a little bit, yeah, but happy to be back. I always love chatting cards with you and the Fanatics auction. So, we just did the longest gong show ever, 4 hours and 15 minutes.
Whoa. And was that because of me? I hope not.
I don't know. You had a lot of good stuff to say.
Maybe all of us.
Maybe all of us.
Doghouse says beauty win for the Oilers in overtime. Yeah, good to see. I want to see them get on track. I think it's good. Chuck Clement, good to see you. Welcome to the show. Josh, we have 51 items selected to look at on Fanatics Collect Hockey Auction tonight. And in this top row right here, we have, to kick things off, what I consider to be the second best card from the second hockey set ever, The Joe Malone C55 from 1911. It's a PSA 1. And let's just have a look at this. Okay, this is pretty rough. It's got some bends. It's got some cracks, some creases throughout, but it's all there at least. That's pretty good, but definitely what I would call almost paper loss right across here, but his face looks to be relatively intact. It's a rough copy, but imagine if this thing wasn't ever treated the way it was. Look at that centering. The color is good. This would have been a great copy if it never got kind of crumpled up like that. But for a PSA 1, I don't know, not too bad. We've seen nicer ones, but we've seen worse ones as well. Sitting at $185 right now. And Josh, do you mind if I mention where I slotted this in the segment today?
Yeah, go ahead.
So today on the Gong Show, I recorded as a guest host with Josh and team, and the segment that I brought was the top 5 most, let's call them important cards per decade. And we started with the 1910s today, and the Joe Malone makes my number 5 spot for important cards from the 1910s. Just behind, well, it's got the 5th spot. I'll leave the rest to you guys go listen or watch the Gong Show, but I think this is a very important card. Phantom Joe Malone holds the record for most goals in an NHL game to this day with 6. Pretty cool card. Next up, a 1952 second-year Ted Lindsay in a PSA 8. 1952 Parkhurst. Beautiful copy. Centering obviously shifted to the left, but that card is gorgeous. Edges, corners, even registration looks pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good for sure. Surface is nice. That's a really nice second-year Ted Lindsay, sitting at $550. And then a third-year Alex Del Vecchio. It's a PSA 5, 1953 Parkhurst. And I love the 53 Parker set, especially I love the Jean Beliveau rookie. I love the Gordie Howe and the Maurice Richard. And then you get into guys like Alex Del Vecchio, a Ted Lindsay, and other Hall of Famers. But this looks really nice for a 5. Like, what's wrong with this thing? Besides it being off center a little bit, this looks maybe some little bit of fray on the corners. Looks to be a very nice 5. I think that if you were collecting 7s, a 53 Parker set in 7s back, 5 to 25 years ago, that this would be as nice as the rest of the cards in your collection. And you could reduce your threshold, I would think, for today. Josh, 3 cards to kick things off. What do you think?
Joe Malone, cool card, pretty rough. The Ted Lindsay is I just love the card design, and I appreciate the player and his contributions to what has become modern hockey and the really sacrificing his own career to form the NHLPA. And I agree with you. Gosh, at Alex Del Vecchio at $41. That's a nice card.
Yeah. Very nice card. Very nice card. All right, let's keep rolling. I was just talking about the Gordie Howe from 1953, but there's also a 54 Parkhurst Gordie Howe on the block tonight. The 53 is coming in at a PSA 5 with eye appeal, and the 54 is a PSA 6.5. So let's open these up and take a closer look. There's the 53. Centering is wonderful. Look at that. Not perfect, but wonderful. Image is good. I do spot a registration issue, and where I'm seeing that is that, the red in the jersey is kind of coming past the edge of what would be his arm. You see a little bit of red coming onto his neck, past the collar of the jersey, and then you see a defined black line around his back that maybe should have some more red to it. Corners are great for the grade. I mean, it is a 5, and the corners do have a little bit of fray and wear to them, but outside of the corners and a little bit of registration, this is a very nice copy with a facsimile autograph on it. Great card. 1953 Parkhurst. And here's the 54 Parkhurst. Now, this one is graded a 6.5, much higher than this 5. And this is a case, Josh, where the 5 does appear to be a nicer condition card to me than the 6.5. This has worse centering. It's got a slight registration issue. Top corners look good. Edges look good. Bottom corners seem to have a little bit of wear. But overall, eye appeal. I prefer the 5 to the 6, even though they are different years of cards. And I'll get to you in a moment on this one, Josh. But let's also take a look at the Johnny Busick rookie, 1957 Topps. I love this design. This is a PSA 1. And let's have a look at why. It's not a bad one. It certainly has issues, a pretty big stain up there, paper loss, maybe a pinhole right there. That looks like a minor tear over there, and it's got corner issues as well. But the color's pretty good. The image is nice. It's a 1, and it's recently graded, so $34. And before we get to Josh, let's look at its counterpart, being the Norm Ullman from 1957 as well. And again, the 57 design is just so darn nice. I love this design. I love the solid color background, the two color background with the blue on the bottom. With this Norm Ullman PSA 3, we don't have the issues like we see here on the Busick in terms of the stains and the tear, but you have a centering issue, of course, extremely off-centered, high and to the right. But edges and corners look to me to be stronger than a 3. There could be a light wrinkle or some other issues with the back. But let's halt there for a moment and give Josh an opportunity to speak to the 2 Gordies and then the 2 Hall of Fame rookies, both from 1957 tops.
Love the 53 Parkers. Really nice card. Again, a couple nice PSA 5s we're looking at. Boy, this would be a pretty nice card, I think, to have in your collection. Kind of a cool design. You're right, there's a little bit of a registration issue, but I think from a distance, especially, the card looks good. And I'll be honest, on the 1954, I've never really gotten this card. I call this the Red Army Gordie Howe, and especially the time frame. Isn't it kind of amazing that they got that they did this design during the height of the Cold War, beginning of the Cold War? But yeah, it's so weird to me just to have, because it's such a Red Army card. It's like, but teach their own there. And then, yeah, the 57s are cool. This is not a bad one for the Johnny Busick. You can look at the Joe Malone we just looked at, and there's a significant more issues that we talk about all the time about how these lower grade vintage cards, there's a huge spectrum of every grade has there's some awful ones and some pretty nice ones. And so it just depends on, where you think each card falls in that. But for one, I think that this one's a pretty nice card. And then if you're a centering snob like me on the Ullman, this one's a little bit tough, but not a bad 3.
No, I think it's a great 3. When you consider the centering, as you had mentioned. We have a 1962 Parkhurst Gordie Howe in a PSA 8 right over here, and then a 1967 second year Bobby Orr in a PSA 7. My favorite Orr card. I like it more than I like the rookie, and I might be in the minority. I want to ask you guys in the chat, if you just compare the design, the aesthetic of the 1966 Bobby Orr rookie with the wood grain television motif to the 1967, and considering as well that the Bobby Orr rookie is a horizontal card, while the second year is a vertical, you see right here. Which do you guys prefer? I prefer this one to the 66, even though the 66 is super iconic. But let's talk about the 62 Parkhurst Gordie Howe PSA 8. Card looks really good. It's off center to the right a little bit, maybe more than a little bit, but top to bottom looks to be perfect. Great overall corners and edges. Nothing there that sticks out to me. Registration seems to be very strong. Good color. Nothing really wrong with this card except for the left to right centering. That I can see in 2D. Very important to note that regularly. That we can't take these cards and tilt them around under the light and look for surface imperfections and that sort of thing. This is overall a good looking card as far as the condition. Now, the design of this card with the athlete on top of a supersized puck that is bigger than him, I've never been a huge fan of this particular design, but it's a sign of the times, and I think it's still pretty cool for what it is. Josh, what do you think?
Yeah, it's different. When I think of this card, I think of if you've ever been at the ocean with somebody and you're sitting on the beach and they're in the water and they turn around and they wave at you. And as they're doing that, the giant wave comes behind them that they don't see. It's like the giant hockey puck is about to take out Gordie Howe here. I don't know. That's just what I think of when I look at this card. It's different, and that's good. I think if you're collecting the player run of a player, you want to have some variety in there and some conversation pieces as part of your collection. And I think these 62 Parkies are definitely fit the bill there.
And the 67 Bobby Orr second year PSA 7. It's off center to the left, but not too bad. Definitely well within 7. That could even fit in PSA 9 standards for centering. Top edge looks good. Top right corner, a little bit of fray I can see, but not bad. Left and right edges both look clean. Bottom edge looks very good. A little bit of fray over here. No big deal. That doesn't ever bother me. And then the bottom right corner looks to be just a little bit of wear. Bottom left looks good. Registration wise, pretty good. You can see a little bit of overlap here between the yellow and the magenta, but nothing too crazy. And something to watch for on this card. This one doesn't have it, which is a good thing, but there's often a fisheye in this area here in the pink, and this one doesn't have it. So that's good to see. That's how I like my 67 Bobby Orrs to come across. Josh, what do you think about this card and even comparing it to the 66 Topps rookie?
I like it a lot. I think the pink is kind of wild in a good way in the background, and so I'm a fan of that. I have a preference to the 66, not maybe for design, just because it's a grail in the hobby and I want one. But
yeah,
but I do.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it's pretty. I think it's when you the thought of having both of them is kind of cool.
Yeah, no doubt. This 67 second year Bobby Orr is sitting at $1,050 in the PSA 7 holder. I want to go to Laura says she appreciates the artisticness of the early cards all before the photography age. Yeah, same here, Laura. And Kung Fury, what's going on? Good to have you in the chat tonight. Here is a third year Bobby Orr Topps PSA 7, another card I just love. These are so hard to find without any tilt and well centered, both the Topps and the O-Pee-Chee. This does have a little bit of clockwise tilt, but overall great color. Corners and edges all look good. Not a bad 7, actually, I would say, from what I can see here. $340 right now. And then a pair of Bobby Hull cards. We have the 69 O-Pee-Chee and the 1970 O-Pee-Chee. And the thing I noticed first, which I've never noticed before, because I don't think I've ever looked at these two side by side, is that this is the same photograph both times. I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, it definitely is. Just with some touch-ups done. This is a much brighter, almost exposure of it, whereas this one you can see more of the intricacies of his skin and his hair, where this one is kind of, I don't know, drowned out a little bit. But in any event, the 1970 here is a PSA 7, as is the 69. I love the 69 set with a hockey stick coming down the right-hand side. There's only one real key rookie card in this set, and that's Tony Esposito. While in the 1970 set, you've got Bobby Clark, Gilbert Perreault, Brad Park, and Daryl Sittler as the key rookies. But these are Bobby Hull's. The centering on this card is unbelievable, actually. Look, that left to right appears to be perfect. Top to bottom looks really, really good. Almost perfect. And the 69 copy also really strong centering. These are a couple, I would say, of very nice PSA 7s. And I'm looking at the serial number on the PSA slabs. These are consecutively graded recently. So I think that's a good sign. I think you can buy these cards with confidence in terms of their condition. I really like them. $88 right now on the 69, $60 on the 1970. If you're working on the Bobby Hull run, these two cards definitely play. Josh, what do you think of them?
Yeah, really nice. Good value buys. So if you had to pick one, which one would you take?
I really prefer the 69, just in terms of the way the picture of him looks and the card design. And I think I don't need to speculate on. I know you're going to pick that same one because you don't have much use for the 1970 set design, do you?
No, don't like it.
No. Quite simple as that, eh? All right, let's go to the next row here. Another 19. There's the Brad Park 1970 PSA 9 O-Pee-Chee rookie. Let's take a look at that. That's a strong grade for any 1970 card. Looks pretty good to me as well. We have the 1971 Topps Bobby Orr in a PSA 8. Very nice copy. Centering is very strong, slightly shifted to the left, but only slightly. Top to bottom, very good, maybe a little bit low. But edges, corners appear to be kind of perfect, actually. You got some fray on the right edge over here, but that's okay. I don't know what that little pink dot is right there. That could be an issue. Could be a print defect or something like that. But overall, that's a pretty nice copy. And then you can also pick up the 1972 O-Pee-Chee Bobby Hull. Is that the same image again? No, it's not. He looks a lot older in this image, actually, with the sideburns coming down. This year of hockey cards, Josh, I've said it before, to me is the ugliest year of hockey card, which is really, really sad for me because it's my birth year. It's kind of the one that I wouldn't mind having, but I can't get behind it. This is a high number card. I think it's from Series 3 that year. It's a WHA card, actually, where they had both WHA and NHL cards in the same packs or the same series, the same year of the brand. I believe it was a 3 series year. And this is a PSA 8, and looks pretty good. A little bit of fray on the top right corner there. Edges, good. Bottom corners are good. Pretty cool card. I mean, it's an early 70s design if you can get your head around that. Josh, any thoughts on these ones?
Yeah, can I see the cert number on the Brad Park real quick? Oh, okay. Another copy that's PSA 9 at the end of July on the 21st via eBay sold for $3,000. So it's a pretty good value right now.
Room to move on this one. And this one has eye appeal too. Top 15% PwC certified eye appeal rating. Yeah. Any comments? Go ahead.
Oh, the Bobby Orr is you go from 1971, one of these favorite sets, to 1971, one of my most favorite sets. And so I just love all the cards in these set. I think it's so emblematic of the times. And, you can look at this card and without having a label on from a slab and know exactly the era it's from. I think that's amazing.
You make the comment that you go from the 70 set you don't like to the 71 that you do like, but then are you sandwiched by 2 years you do not like? Or what is your thought? What are your thoughts on the 72 design?
Yeah, I think it's this bad early 70s design, that it was kind of a rough time of design in our world. So, just in general in style, it's like I don't like the the mutton chops look with the slick back hair for Bobby Hull there. I don't think that's his best vibe that he ever put out there.
And it's not necessarily the design of this card I don't like. It's that background color. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that color is. Is it beige? Is it?
Mauve.
I don't know what that is, man. I mean, I could come up with some pretty nasty words to describe that color. It's the color that really.
Oh yeah. Grows, right? I thought you meant the pink. Yeah, it's like a ugly like. Well, it's kind of like what you'd color like that your basement was in your parents' basement in 1972, right? I mean, the ugly wood or fake wood paneling that they probably had down there.
Yeah, exactly. So Laura did vote on the Bobby Orr. She says the pink crowd versus the wood grain TV will vote for the TV. Yeah, very fair. Laura, thanks for jumping in on that. Jay-Z, good evening. Laura says the 67 Orr and the following card is also the same photo. Very, very cool. Jay-Z says, anyone else bidding on the Crosby Shield? Wowza. We will get to that soon, Jay-Z. He says it's just crested my high bid amount, so you're out. Sorry to hear, Jay-Z. But even more sorry to hear you're not coming to the expo. And the reason you're not coming to the expo is because Fanatics Collect isn't coming to the expo. And that was something that you were excited to do some business with them. So that's too bad, Jay-Z. Jeff McMahon, what's going on, bud? Good to see you. Jay-Z says 72 is seriously bad. So we're on the same page there. And what's going on? Mike says it's an appropriate color for the 70s being this, whatever this color is. I think that's basically what Josh just said too. So we are on the same page. Here's two more. There's the Bobby Orr, the Bobby Orr, the Guy Lafleur. So I'm going to open these up. We should look at them. If nothing more than they are fun cards. Yeah, PSA 4 on the 72 O-Pee-Chee Bobby Orr. I do like the image of him on this card, Josh. I like the red background. I like the Boston Bruins logo. I do not like the beige design aspect there. And then 1972 Guy Lafleur, guys. This is Guy Lafleur's second year card. That's kind of cool. I don't know about the green and the red playing off each other with the yellow and the brownish. I mean, this card is just This card is just a disaster in terms of what it looks like. But condition-wise, it's a PSA 8 near mint to mint, recently graded. It is off-center to the right, but other than that, this is a great card. And it's still, I think it's still a very cool card in that it's the second-year Guy Lafleur. I owned one of these many, many years ago, decades ago. I don't anymore, but it's not bad. Josh, any thoughts on the Orr and the Lafleur from 72?
If you had to buy the one card, the 72 or the 70 or, which one are you buying?
The 72 or the 70? Or the 7?
Yeah, sorry, it's not on there, but I'm just trying to go with the two ugly sandwich sets.
Oh, yeah, I would probably go for the 72, actually.
Me too, I think. I do like the Bobby Orr 72, and it's a great image of Orr, and I think that you're spot on. That's what stands out.
Yeah.
The Guy Lafleur, as much as I love Guy, he looks like super pale in
Yeah. Kind of like me with this light coming off my forehead right now. Yeah, I hear you for sure. The Orr card, Laura says the 72 Orr hair is the best on that card. Yeah, he's got some good flow going right there. What's up, peeps? Welcome to the show. All right, let's keep on rolling. Lanny McDonald, PSA 60 Peachy rookie. You know, the 74s are just always tough in any condition. Centering is tough, but I wanted to share this one because I'm a fan of the card. I do love my favorite designs from the 70s are the 74s and the 75s. And you might say the 75s, there's nothing to them, but yeah, I love the simplicity of the 75s and the 74s, the hockey stick coming down it. We see it in 69s. We see it in the 74s. We see it again later on in the 1987s. But I do like the Lanny pre-mustache as well, guys. Pre-mustache. Pretty cool card. And, it's off center, bit of tilt maybe, but overall, not bad for a 6. Josh, what do you think?
Yeah, not a bad card. I'm bitter at Lanny for not letting Yager into the Hall of Fame, but I'll get past that for this. I think somebody, maybe on our show, when we were talking about this card, mentioned that the reason why he doesn't have a mustache here is the Maple Leafs had a similar rule to like the New York Yankees where there's no facial hair. Is that from what you recall?
I mean, I can't verify that's the reason, but that does ring a bell as far as my memory goes. Yeah. Makes sense to me. Ali says, yo, guys, just bought a big boy card the minute the show started. 1998 Gretzky Rookie O-Pg Chrome Refractor. And nice. That reminded me that I wanted to get in on that action too, Ali, and I didn't. So congratulations. At least we know where it went. For sure. Jay-Z says the reason why I absolutely love 59 Parkers is the whole card vertical side is a giant hockey stick. Yeah, there you go. There you go, Jay-Z. Those hockey stick design elements are fan favorites. All right, we have 5 Gretzky rookies here. We have an O-Pg PSA 4. Let's open that up. We have an O-Pg PSA 7, a Topps BGS 6.5, a Topps PSA 1, and a Topps PSA 6. Let's make our way through these. Here's the O-Pg PSA 4. Obviously, severely off-centered to the right. A little bit of tilt going on as well. I don't mind the top edge. The top corners are kind of where you expect them to be on a 4. Left and right edges, same thing. Bottom corners, same thing. Registration's pretty good, actually. Oil drop is nice. You see a little bit of blur on the bottom of the legs, but not much at all. The blue and the black is very tight. I don't see any white gaps, which I love to not see white gaps between the blue and the black. We're not seeing any of the color come into this white outline here. The word Oilers and the word Edmonton are on the same plane. Edmonton is very nice and dark black. So this card, its issues are easily centering and corners, I would say. Corners, I don't mind the way they are. Centering is obviously an issue. It is what it is as far as centering goes. Here's the PSA 7 now. Let's look at this. Let's start with the registration. Oil drop is offset to the right a bit, but look at this. The white and the blacks are tight, which, as you know, I like. More glow coming off the bottom of the legs here. You can see this reddish glow off the skate and just underside of his leg, and that's because the red or the magenta plate is shifted to the right, as you can tell also by the oil drop. Bottom edge is good. Bottom corners look pretty good. You come up, rough cuts on both sides. Top corners look good, not perfect. Top edge looks good. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the card, it's pretty good. Now, centering side to side, close to perfect. Top to bottom, it's a little bit high, but you much prefer that. I actually consider this, I think it to be an above average 7. Now, does PWCC or Fanatics, do I see any eye appeal anywhere? No. And I'm not sure, I'm not going to disagree with that, but I think it's a very nice copy for a PSA 7. Above average to me. And then we have a Topps BGS 6.5. Certainly off-centered. Worst corner is this one on the top right. Oil drop is well placed. Color is bold and beautiful. We'll give it that for sure. Edges are very nice as well. We have a Topps PSA 1. This card's seen some action. I mean, look at the wear on the corners, the nice even rounding at least. Certainly a lot of snow going on, some creases through it. And then this bottom left corner has been folded over like an envelope, it looks like, and just left there. Bottom right corner, tons of wear and cardstock showing, a crease right through the Oilers logo. It's a 1. I call this a weak 1, like a lower than average, but it's probably what's it sitting at right now. The 1 is sitting at $310. So yeah, I don't know what it'll go for, but I'm not surprised it's under $500. And then here's a Topps PSA 6. That oil drop is perfect. The image is nice and solid. The color is bold and strong. Corners and edges are very good. Like, let's just have a closer look. Yeah, I mean, there's a few spots where I can see some stock, but it's minor, really minor. Edges and corners are great. The centering is obviously the biggest problem. It is off to the right. It's high. It's got a little bit of counterclockwise tilt, but outside of centering, this might be one of the stronger 6s that I've seen. Josh, just ran through those 5 pretty quick. What stuck out to you?
I actually think both OPG copies are pretty nice cards. You know, for the PSA 1 is probably a pass for me. And then I agree with you on the last one we looked at there, this Topps PSA 6, and kind of the comment I made before, which is sort of how I see this card now in centering, is I tend to, if it's going to be off-centered, left to right, I think this is the better, because the white part of the design on the right side of the card, it kind of keeps the balance of the whole card sort of centering, even though technically it's off-centered, as it still feels, doesn't it feel to me off-centered anymore? Because I kind of, view the white or the blue on the left of the white and the blue on the right of the right as part of the
border.
The border.
Yeah, let me, in case that was confusing, because Josh and I have talked about this before, even offline. And what Josh is looking at is if you look at the image of Gretzky with the white boards here, the ice, the crowd, and then you look at this white border around that image, Josh is talking about the centering of the image, this white border within the cardboard canvas. So what he's saying is this white, the team bar, the bar that the team is on, this white background, it comes down into the right border. And Josh is saying that where is the centering measured on this card? And historically, I've always considered it from the edge, the far right edge of this white, whatever banner thing, to the left edge of the image and the white border around the image. And Josh is saying, hold up a second. Why don't we measure it from this white thin border to this white thin border, and how those sit within the cardboard? And that actually throws me for a bit of a loop, because that makes sense. If you have this card shifted to the left now to recenter it traditionally, the image of Gretzky with the back, with the boards, the ice, and the crowd are not centered on the cardboard canvas. Josh, that's what you're getting at, right?
Yeah, that was a much better explanation of it. And I know it doesn't change the technical difference and the technical grade. I'm not trying to argue that, but I'm just saying is that this card actually, It's like the FedEx logo. Once you see the arrow and the FedEx logo, you can never not see it. This is how I look at this card now. And I look at the card and it's like, oh, that feels very centered to me. And I know it's not, but and so good for me because now I get to buy a cheaper Gretzky rookie and enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, it's something to consider. All right, well, let's keep on going. Those are the 5 Gretzky rookies open and available tonight. 8.25 right now for the O-Pee-Chee 4, 3,300 for the 7, 8.25 for the top 6.5, 310 for the tops 1, and $1,000 for the tops PSA 6. We also have a second-year O-Pee-Chee Gretzky PSA 4.5 available. It's only at $46 right now, and for a 4.5, it actually looks pretty good to me. I think the bottom left corner is the main culprit. Well, maybe the bottom right corner too. They definitely have some rounding and some wear going on, but the top corners are better. Overall, a nice looking card. It's cheap. It's $46 right now. And then we have a Topps PSA 8 second-year Gretzky, and great color on this. Great top corners and edges. Centering is definitely off. A slight registration issue I can see. I'm just noticing the green coming out past the thin black line there. So that's a bit of a registration issue. And you can see some yellow in the letters as well. The bottom of the top here and the bottom of the red oval within the O. You can see it throughout all the letters there. You also see a bit of yellow coming through where you would scratch off. And that's normal. That doesn't mean anyone tried to scratch it. It just means that it wasn't affixed as well as on some other copies. And we see that quite a bit. And I don't know how PSA grades the amount of black scratch off resin that is on there. I'm just not sure. But overall, not a bad Topps PSA 8. The centering is off to the right, as you can clearly see. And then we have 2 85 O-Pee-Chee box bottoms. And I love my box bottoms, guys. We have the Mario Lemieux in a PSA Authentic and the Wayne Gretzky in a PSA 3. The Lemieux is graded as Authentic, a recent grade, and maybe it only got the Authentic grade. Is there any? Yeah, I think you can see some of the black outline from on the very bottom of the card. I'm not quite sure what I'm seeing there. This might be a case where it didn't get a numerical grade because there is no evidence that this was a box bottom on the front, i.e. there's no perforations or other colors along the edges of the yellow. But I love it. I just love it because it's like it's the very rare alternate Lemieux rookie year card, even though it's a box bottom. And here's the Gretzky PSA 3. That looks good for a 3 to me. That looks really good for a 3 to me from here. You do see black across the top. Can you see black? It's hard because it's black on black, but there is black on the top border there. You also see it coming down the right border, and that's what PSA wants to see. You might have some staining on the yellow border there. I love the image as well. And, surface obviously an issue with these cards because oftentimes these boxes sat on countertops where we're kind of sliding around and could easily get scratches. Josh, any comments on the second-year Gretzky's or the box bottoms?
Love the box bottoms. I looked at the Gretzky for a long time because I was a little bit confused by the PSA 3 grade. And I think I ended up probably where you did, where it's just probably pretty tough in the image to maybe see all the surface issues on these box bottoms. Do you have either of these in your collection?
I have the Lemieux. I have the O-Pee-Chee Lemieux. I do not have the Gretzky, but I would like to get a Gretzky to pair with it. That would be pretty fun. Yeah. Next row. You can pick up tonight, guys, the 85 O-Pee-Chee box bottoms and the 86 O-Pee-Chee box bottoms. That's what these are here. We'll come back to the Lemieux rookie, but let's look at the second-year Lemieux box bottom and the 86 Gretzky box bottom. This is an Authentic. This is cut short. I believe that definitely a hand cut versus like a guillotine cutter that would have got a straighter cut. I love the image, though. We've never seen this image on a card except for the box bottom, as far as I know. And same with the Gretzky. I mean, it's just such a cool alternative to the O-Pee-Chee and Topps versions of this card. I love these things. I would like them to be, really high grade for my collection. And I don't mean high PSA grade. I mean high Jeremy Lee grade, if you will. how I would assess the grade to be. Big fan of these two cards. Yeah, both of them. Josh, which do you prefer image-wise, design-wise, color-wise? The 85 box bottoms or the 86 box bottoms?
They're so tough. I mean, probably a slight edge to the 85 because you get the Lemieux rookie in there, and then it's just the yellow border makes it so distinctive. But they're both great. I mean, I love them. Have you ever cut out a box bottom? Have you ever tried doing that?
I've only done it from the more recent O-Pee-Chee, like the Upper Deck O-Pee-Chees with the McDavids and Crosbys on the bottoms, that kind of stuff. Because, my buddy Mike over at Eastridge, I've gone in there and he's just kind of this is a while back. He's just given me a few of those empty boxes. I just brought them home and cut them, and I still have some. So, yeah, I think they're pretty cool. Yeah, I like them. I'm a fan. And we have an 85 O-Pee-Chee Lemieux rookie. PSA 6, and this shouldn't go for too much, $230 right now. That's it. But look at the centering. It's great. The edges and corners look good. What's going on here? I mean, surface maybe. Edges and corners look really good. Maybe something on the back.
Wow.
Registration's decent. We do see a little bit of red coming to the beak, but overall, this looks like a really good 6. I mean, I've seen way worsely centered 7s and 8s than this 6 here. And the surface looks pretty good. I mean, hard to tell why it's a 6 only. Josh, do you have any insight into that, or anyone in the chat? Has anyone looked at the back of this? We can look at the back of it too, actually. But Josh, what do you think while I bring up the back?
From what I can see, it looks like any day 8, like you just send it in and
it's got issues on the.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you look at the back border, you're going to see some white chipping along the top, down the right side, down the left side as well. And then you're going to see a more significant issue right here on the back. This white, whatever, scratch, bottom right edge, bottom right corner, bottom left corner has some white showing. So it's appropriately graded. But this is a case, guys, where if you were looking for a Lemieux rookie, and you don't want to spend PSA 8, 9 money, this presents like a PSA 8 or 9 on the front, but it doesn't on the back. Well, that's what you want. That's what I would want. So I'm a big fan of this as a value buy for somebody who's looking to get into a nice Lemieux rookie and almost get value for the technical grade, which is kind of where I like to put myself right now as far as cards go when I'm buying them. I want value for my technical grade. Ali says, I'm torn on the 85 Lemieux, regular pack pulled rookie or the box bottom. If you could have one, which card? Well, I can tell you, Ali, that I used to have a PSA 10 Topps rookie. This is what I owned: a PSA 10 Topps rookie, a 9 O-Pee-Chee, and a PSA 9 O-Pee-Chee box bottom. I sold my PSA 10 Topps, and I now only have my O-Pee-Chee PSA 9 rookie and my O-Pee-Chee box bottom. So I could have got rid of the box bottom, but I got rid of the Topps 10 instead, and I kept the box bottom. And when I look at populations and rarity, and those things are important to me, the box bottom is the one I want. It's just, I know it's a bit of an oddball sort of thing, but that's the one that I want because I just know I can go buy a 85 O-Pee-Chee Lemieux rookie anytime. And, there's lots of options of those. And just like as Laura said here, there seems to be a predominance of Gretzky rookie cards up for auction. That's just, there's always a lot of Gretzky rookie cards up for auction on various platforms and Fanatics Collect as well. So you can always get one, where the box bottoms, you're just not seeing them as often. So I don't know, just my thoughts there. Josh, what do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that they're obviously much more rare. Getting to Laura's point, that Fanatics Collect seems to be a good avenue to sell a Gretzky rookie. I think that's why we see them here almost every week. But yeah, I pretty much agree with everything you said.
All right, well, let's keep on rolling. We want to get through all these cards we're watching. We have a PSA 8 Brett Hull O-Pee-Chee rookie. This is an iconic card in my lifetime, guys, because this was the hottest card in the hobby in about 1991, 91, 92. This was the rookie card everybody chased. It was selling better than Lemieux, selling better than Patrick Waugh. I had a card shop in those days, and we couldn't keep these in stock. The most popular card going on, and then the Yager O-Pee-Chee Premier, was also a very popular card. Still is. High pop count in PSA 10 at $110 right now, and a 1998 Upper Deck Choice Prime Choice Reserve Gretzky out of 100, PSA 9 at $1,200 right now. And these are cool. They are a lot cooler than this image looks because they have this an undertone of text on a coating on the surface. It says Prime Choice Reserve. You can sort of see it in various places, but if you hold it under the light and look at it, it has a nice reflective nature to it. Playing Days card, New York Rangers. This is a really cool card, actually, and it's at $1,200 right now. Josh, do you remember those days when Brett Hull was all the rage? And what do you think of the Gretzky Prime Choice Reserve?
Yeah, so I'm from Hibbing, Minnesota, which is about an hour, 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes from Duluth. And when Brett Hull was at the University of Minnesota Duluth playing college hockey, my mom was at the university and I lived there. And so I would go and see Brett Hull play at the deck in Duluth. And so he was kind of my first sort of the guy I followed in the sport. And so, I have an affinity because it's, again, in that this was in my wonder years sort of stage of life. I was 11 years old in 1988. I don't love the card itself, so that's the one where I struggle on this, but I do have those sentimental feelings, and much more so for the O-Pee-Chee Premier Yager, even though I know it's the most graded card by PSA Hockey Card. I still will always love the card, and the Gretzky Prime Choice Reserve is pretty awesome. And one sold, I think at its highest I saw, well, actually at the beginning of September in the weekly, this card had sold for $3,000, and so there's still some value there right now too.
Definitely. All right, well, let's see what this one ends at. If we had one end at $3,000, we'll see what this one does. All right, next row, a couple of really cool cards here. The Gretzky and the Crosby I'm talking about. I love these Fleer Showcase Skybox Star Rubies. This is out of 50. It's a PSA 9. I own a copy of this card already. I love it. Oh, PSA 8, actually. My bad. It's a PSA 8. Still very cool. Pop 3, 4 graded higher. Print run of 50. Serial numbered on the back. Or no, it's actually on the front. Let me show you guys where that serial number is. It's right here on the right. It's hard to see, but this is numbered 48 of 50. You can see it right, or 40 of 50. I don't know if that's 40 or 48. I can't even tell. It's tough to see, but maybe 40 of 50 right there. And it's a cool looking card. It looks a lot better in hand, moving it around under the light than looking at here on a flat bed or whatever in 2D. And then a 2013 MVP Superscript out of 25, Sidney Crosby. And these MVPs out of 25, I think, are really just great card. MVP is a low-end brand, but these are awesome parallels. Nice hollow foil on the facsimile autograph and the serial number stamp there, and his name as well. So I'm a fan of these. PSA 9, it's going to be Pop 1, none graded higher, and that's because there's only 25 of these produced. It's at $33. I think that's a bargain. I don't know comps on this card, but I think that's a bargain. And finally, Black Ice, Teuvo Teravainen, O-Pee-Chee Platinum rookie out of 99, and PSA 9 sitting at $22. I'm actually surprised I hit the favorite on this one because that's not a card that I would usually favor. That might have been a mistake on my part, but it's there, so we address it. But what do you think of the Gretzky and the Crosby?
I would love to see that Gretzky in hand because I haven't yet, and take your word for it. But I think it's hard to get the impact that the card has through an image like this online. I understand everything you said about the Crosby. I don't know.
You're not a fan. You're not a fan, are you?
I don't like facsimile autos. I think that's my
fair. Hey, that's completely understandable. That's where you just we like what we like. Kinger makes a comment here back on the box bottom. He says, I like how 86 box bottom has an 86 O-Pee-Chee branding logo on the front, which is kind of cool. He's talking about these logos up here on the Lemieux and the Gretzky. And then when I saw the comment, I went and I looked at the 85s, and they don't have that. So, and I don't know if actually we can see right here. No, there is no brand logo on the front of the 85s, which is interesting because I think most other years do have it. Well, not the 80s. Okay, maybe they don't. Not the 79s either, but I think later on they started. You have it here on the 80, on the 88, right there under the Blues logo. All right, let's keep on rolling. Gross Bros says, out of 25s of big player names are always going to be sought after long term. That's kind of where I'm at too, Gross Bros. That's pretty much my thoughts exactly. Yep. All right. Look at this. We have some relatives right here in the Connor McDavid realm. We've got the 15-16 exquisite rookie signatures out of 149, and then the same card out of 35. This one, the out of 35 is a PSA authentic with a 9 auto, while the out of 149 is a BGS 9.5, and I'm going to guess that the autograph is graded a 10 on the back. I'm not going to guess. Let's just confirm that and see what it tells us. Where'd that go? Thought I opened that. I probably did the wrong thing. Let's do this and see what the back tells us. Yeah, 10 grade on the back. So let's go back to this. It's a min gem, 395s with 9 on corners. Nice enough autograph, no issues. I actually am a big fan of these exquisite cards. This is a nicer card, though. Just look at the foil on this versus this. That's the difference between regular foil and hollow foil. This is a really, really nice looking card. Now, the autograph only gets a 9 on this. And is that because of the streakiness here? I mean, it must be, because I don't have any other issues with it. But do they... every Messi autograph has that. Every Lionel Messi autograph has a big streak in it too. And I've seen 10s all day long. So I don't know what the issue is there, but I think this is a great card out of 35. Rookie year McDavid auto, and it's just beautiful. Josh, do you like those cards? Do you like the hollow foil versus the regular?
Yeah, I like the hollow foil a lot better. It's just that the card pops. I agree with you on the streakiness and sort of affecting the auto grade. Have you ever found a Leon Draisaitl article or autograph where the big D isn't very streaky? It almost never happens. So that doesn't bother me that much. I do prefer the auto a little bit more on the auto 149 version, just because it seems a little more smushed on the Gold Spectrum card. But both very nice cards, of course.
Makes sense to me. Makes sense to me. Go Sabre, says Jim Bean. What's going on, Jim Bean? Welcome to the show. And then we have this 2016 Fleer Showcase, Essential Credentials, Austin Matthews out of 42. It's a BGS 9, Pop 3, none higher. And guys, this is a rookie. I consider this a rookie card. I know it's not technically one, but to me, it's good enough. It's a rookie year card. It's an Essential Credentials. It's out of 42 only. And it's sitting at a measly $360. I have 2 of the 42. I own 2 copies of this card. One I bought, one I pulled. Bought a random box at Eastridge going back 6 years ago, probably, and pulled one of these cards, which to me was like maybe not the product hit, but a very important card within the overall product. I'm a huge fan. The Fanatics Collect photography department, they don't give us a look at what's going on this card because they photograph everything against a dark background. And this card needs a white background or a lighter background so you can see this this acetate inlay here behind the die cut Austin Matthews actually shows a nature scene. And they're usually very bright, nice and colorful. Skies, mountains, foliage, that kind of thing. So I'm a huge fan of this card if you haven't been able to tell already. And there was one time, during kind of the peak of the night of the Fleer Retro insert mania, that this card would have probably encroached upon $2,000, I'm guessing. And they've just really come down a lot from there. And this is a card where, I don't usually say things like this, but I own 2 of them, so I believe in it. I think that this card could have a rebound eventually, but we'll see. I hope it does because I have a couple, but it may not. Time will tell. Josh, everything I just said there, what comes to mind on that?
Well, I'm a huge essential credentials stan like yourself, and I believe in them as well. And I've kind of made the point before that it could be soon with the 2023-24 EX 2000 set coming out in the next few months. That's going to introduce essential credentials to a lot of ultra modern collectors that haven't seen these cards in a number of years now. And if that set really hits, I think that, then it drives interest back to some of your other players and could benefit a card like this. And to me, given it's Austin Matthews, it's out of 42, 360 seems like a pretty good value right now.
I agree. All right, let's continue. Another Austin Matthews. Here's the Young Guns exclusives PSA 10, numbered out of 100, pop 11, 6,250. His regular Young Gun PSA 10 does right around $1,000, maybe $850, something like that, $800 to $1,000. And this one's a 6,250. So it's about 6 to 7 times the value, but the population is way thinner than 6 to 7 times for the regular Young Gun, right? I mean, there's only 11 of these. Josh, how many PSA 10 Austin Matthews Young Guns are there, or do you have that handy by chance?
Yeah, give me 1 second and I will.
I'm interested to hear because this, now there's also the high gloss parallel, but it's to me, it's the way to go with Young Guns if you can get into it. What'd you find?
3840.
30,840 PSA 10 regular Austin Matthews Young Guns and 11 exclusives for a gem rate of 11%. Well, probably a bit less. I'm sure not all of the 100 have been submitted to PSA, but we're talking 7 times on the value side of things and 380 multiple on the population. I don't know what the right mix or blend there should be, but that seems like a very high ratio, higher than it should be on those two rates. If you can follow what I'm saying, if I can follow what I'm saying with that, but I know you're following me, Josh. What do you think of that?
This is the way to go if you're a Young Guns fan or Young Guns collector and you're worried about pop count. I mean, think the same for Bedard right now, who's at almost 6,000 and climbing. And yeah, I mean, I think this is a way to have the best of both worlds, right? You can collect the cards you love and protect yourself against population counts and print run sizes degrading value because that only 100 of these were ever produced. And right now, with Buyer's Premium, we're at an even 7,500. All-time high in this card's 8,000 from card letter sales history. So we'll see what we get, how many more bids we get in.
We're 26 seconds away from the end of the first extended bidding window, which means any card that has not got a bid yet will end, including this Cale Makar O-Pee-Chee Platinum. These are all going in the next window, as are these. And these three at the bottom, these 3 Bedards all need bids, including what might be my favorite cheap Bedard, the Holographics Gold. It's just a beautiful card. It's got a print line on almost every copy I've seen. I'm trying to find one without, but there we go. Looks like these 3 Bedards will be sold. Let's just let it turn over here. Should be momentarily. I thought they sold. Maybe they got bids. Maybe I misread that, Josh. It seems like they are still going, actually. Yep. Okay. So those are still going. Let's see what has sold. Well, looks like the Matthews we were talking about already got extended. Yeah, a couple more extensions on the the Gretzky's gone from 1,200 to 1,500. The Brett Hull got a bid. It's only $23 though. The box bottom Gretzky is sold for $35. The Lemieux box bottom PSA Authentic sold for $186. These have all sold. The Gretzky rookies and the second year. This Gretzky rookie is sold. These have all sold. The Brad Park did $14.70. The Bobby Hulls have sold. All right, so let's go back down. We got to get to that Crosby Shield because that's a big card right here. 2016 Ultimate Collection Sidney Crosby game used Shield patch 1 of 1 is at 6,250, also 7,500, just like Josh just told us on the Austin Matthews exclusives PSA 10. But this is a beautiful card. I love Ultimate, Josh. I love Sidney Crosby. I'm not a huge Shield card guy, but I get it. I still love it. It's very cool. And it's game used, SGC 8.5. That's a pretty cool piece of cardboard, don't you think?
Oh yeah, this is a big card and probably a big deal for a number of Crosby collectors that are out competing right now. When you break down the sales history of the Crosby NHL Shield, there's, about half of his shields are dual shields, right? And so I have some great cards, like the biggest one would be the '05, the Cup Lemieux Crosby game used, that are, but there's not a ton of sales that you can find of just Crosby shields where he's the sole player on the card. It's really a handful. And so if you're a Crosby collector, I would assume that there would be a lot of people competing for a card like this.
And I believe the consigner of this card, I think I saw them throw up a story post on Instagram today saying that this might be the only, or that there are no public sales recorded for a single Shield game used Crosby, a game used Crosby single Shield card. I believe that's what his Instagram post said. And I didn't fact check it, but if it's true, then we're about to get maybe our first comp on that. It seems almost crazy to think that could be the case.
No, I can see some sales on, who knows what he's looking at. He might be looking at like eBay sales history or Terapeak that only goes back 3 years. But I'm seeing in March of 2019, there was a 2008 Ultimate. There was in March of 2019 as well. There was a 2007 Ultimate. Now, those were all Shield autos. The one thing that I was not able to find is just a Shield patch without the auto, whatever that distinction that makes. In 2020, in the Fanatics Weekly, there was the 2006 Ultimate Shield patch auto that sold. And so there's a few Shield patches that have sold with just Crosby on the card.
So I found thanks for that, Josh. I found the post. It's by the Wharf Sports Cards, who might have a filter on here. And it says, guess how many, there's the post just so you can see it. In blue here, it says, guess how many game-used Crosby Shields have sold in the last 4 years? I'll give you a hint. The answer is less than 1. Mm-hmm. So does that seem consistent with what you found, Josh? You just said 2020 on a Crosby Shield card, but was that more than 4 years ago?
It was July 26, 2020. So technically about 4 years and 3 months, maybe.
Yeah. So this post is a little bit, it's if you can't say 4.5 years, but you can say 4 years and probably be technically correct. Yeah. So interesting marketing angle for a card that they have consigned for sure. Okay. I want to go to some comments here quick, Josh. Gross Bro says, is the time now to sell my PSA 10 McDavid Young Guns? Well, Anony says, seems like a good time. I don't know if now's maybe not the best time. They got off to a cold start, so maybe now isn't the best time, Gross Bros, to sell it. I think the best time to sell a Connor McDavid Young Gun is when he's in the middle of a hot streak. So I would wait for that. Personally, Anony goes on to say Young Guns Bedard checklist card is a nice, cheap pickups. Also says the good price on that Lemieux box bottom. Jay-Z is shocked that the Crosby Shield is cresting at around $6,000. He thought it was $5,000 max. And Jay-Z says, I remember the Panini Dominion Crosby Shield sold in approximately 2018. That was a non-auto as well. Okay, thank you guys. And Alexi Lafreniere, Future Watch Auto, does $288. Nick Robertson, High Gloss Young Gun PSA 10 out of 10 is at $340. It's a pop 2. And this is a pretty cool card right here. If you like die cut hologrammy, kind of dark blue and black cards, it is a 1 of 1. It says it right in there. Draisaitl, McDavid on the bottom, Gretzky and Messi on the top, SGC 8.5. And that is, again, a 1 of 1. Josh, any comments on those?
Nope. I'm good.
Okay. Connor Bedard, exquisite retro rookie out of $299 is at $320. It's out of $299. That's probably the coolest part of it. And it's got that old exquisite. It's actually a pretty cool take on the 03. It says 09 exquisite retro. It looks more like 03 design to me, but anyway. And then we've got the 2023 Black Diamond dual Moritz Seider and Dylan Larkin patch out of 15. I actually think this is a really nice looking card, Josh. Yeah, that's beautiful with the diamond.
Mm-hmm.
The diamond designs in the corners. I really like this middle design element with the dual relics written on it. The patches are both pretty nice. That's a good looking card, is it not?
Yeah, looks very sharp. I love the patch windows.
Same here. Yeah, those they're like diamond. That's a well-designed card right there, in my opinion, and seems like Josh's too. And in 2023 O-Pee-Chee Black Rainbow, Connor Bedard rookie out of 100, PSA 9, Pop 12, 2 graded higher. And I don't know how I feel about these black O-Pee-Chee Platinum. This isn't O-Pee-Chee Platinum.
No, it's paper.
O-Pee-Chee. Oh, that's why it looks a bit different. Okay, I like that it's not platinum, actually. Josh, thoughts on that, or even the Bedard Exquisite?
I like the Bedard Exquisite, but this is a card I would be afraid right now to spend a lot of money on, because I think you can get it cheaper in the future. I agree with you. The Black Diamond Mind is a really kind of cool design, and I think it's a good PC buy. And I'm probably a little more bullish than you on the O-Pee-Chee Paper Black Rainbow Bedard, just because, again, it's out of 100. I think a PSA grade is fine on this specific card. And yeah, there's going to be, there's going to be 10,000 of his Young Guns. And if you can get this card for half that.
I love it that it's out of 100. Actually, that to me is the best part of it. I'm not a big fan of the aesthetic of the black. It doesn't look as black to me as it looks like. I don't know what that is. Like what?
Like it's almost dulled a little bit.
Yeah, like what's this here? What's this color in this area here? None of this is black except for this thin line here, maybe over here. I would almost prefer it was more black around the outside. But that said, it's out of 100, and that's pretty cool and they've been making those cards every year in O-Pee-Chee for a while.
Remember, you're going to get the rainbow foiling though too on that card. That it's a black rainbow, so you'll get a bunch of colors that in hand that pop off of it.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. Yeah, pretty cool. I'm sure it looks better in hand than it does in 2 dimensions here. All right, let's go to the top. These 3 Bedard cards have now sold. The PSA 10 is $780. The 9 is $325. And the holographics gold is $43. Now I got to show you guys this card, as I just think it's, where'd it go? Here it is. I think it's a nice card. You see a print line coming down here, right here. Yeah. You see one going across this way. I'd like to find a copy without those if it exists, and it just might not exist. So let's see what else is sold. Diamond Mine Detroit card sells for $35. Lafreniere, $288. We already said. The Shield is sold, as has the Austin Matthews, $7,500 each. The Makar O-Pee-Chee Platinum rookie does $54. The McDavid out of 149 does $3,600, and the one out of 35 is still going. It's only at, it's at $2,760 right now. Still about $1,000 less than this one, but is that a grade issue? Authentic versus BGS 9.5? I don't know. We will see. Actually, let's go back down and see if anything else has sold since we were just in this neighborhood. The Nick Robertson does $408 and $432 on the Bedard O-Pee-Chee Black Rainbow. So now we can go back up and pick up where we left off. Tuvo Teravainen does $26. Crosby MVP Superscript does $48. We're up to $600 on this was a lot lower this was under $300, I think, when we last looked at it, wasn't it? Bit of a bidding war going on there. The Prime Choice Reserve Gretzky does $21.30, $132 on Yager's O-Pee-Chee Premier, $30 on the PSA 8 Brett Hull rookie, $35 on the Gretzky box bottom, $300 for the PSA 6 Lemieux rookie, a nice one at that, $96 on the 85 Gretzky box bottom, $186 on the Lemieux, $174 on the second year Tops PSA 8 Gretzky, $55 on the PSA 4.5 O-Pee-Chee, $1,200 on the PSA 6 Tops rookie, $372 on the PSA 1 Tops, $990 on the BGS 6.5 Tops Gretzky, $4,560 on the PSA 7 O-Pee-Chee, and $1,020 on the PSA 4 O-Pee-Chee rookie. $39 or $38 on Lanny, $162 on the second-year Guy Lafleur, $30 on the 72 O-Pee-Chee Bobby Orr. The Bobby Hull from 72 is still going, while the 71 Topps Orr PSA 8 is sold for $264, $14.70 on the O-Pee-Chee Brad Park PSA 9 rookie card, $72 on Bobby Hull's 1970 card, $105 on the 69, $456 on the Topps third year PSA 7 Bobby Orr rookie card. The second year Orr Topps is still going at $13.50. The 62 Parker Gordie Howe PSA 8 does $420. And the 54 Parker Gordie Howe PSA 6.5 does $528. And that's going to take us to the top. Well, Alex Del Vecchio PSA 5, 1953 Parker. So that's his third year card, does $50. We're going to hit refresh now. Push all the sold cards down to the bottom. And he lets us know that Ovechkin only has 2 goals so far this season. Yeah, I mean, one's an empty netter, or at least one was. I know the second one was an empty netter. He's on pace for what I tell you today, Josh, 21, 22 goals this season.
Yeah.
We'll see. He did over 30 last year, 32, I think, last year. So he's on pace for about a 33% drop this year as we sit right now. All right. Let's see how many cards we have left that we were watching of 51. We have 3, 6, 9, 12 cards left that we are keeping an eye on here. So we'll continue to do that. Whew. Josh, have you picked up any cards on Fanatics at all lately?
No, not lately. I've been kind of war chesting for the expo. That's been my I want to do some shopping this year. So been saving
Always
for that.
Fun. Always fun for sure. Has anyone out there picked up any cards yet tonight here on Fanatics? If you have, please let us know. It's just fun for us to hear what people are buying. While we're kind of, in the middle of a round here, and we have mostly vintage still that we're watching. The cards I'm most interested in seeing sell right now are the Austin Matthews Essential Credentials. Again, I own 2 of them, so full transparency. I want to see that card keep on. I want to see it get lots of bids. Of course I do. And I love this Skybox Star Rubies Gretzky from 2013 out of 50. Again, I have a copy of this card too. Absolutely love it. $600 on that one. And I also love the second year Bobby Orr. I mean, I love a lot of cards, guys. I mean, you got to figure that out by now. I also love the Joe Malone. I have a copy of that one too. Here, what does Jeremy Lee have a copy of? I'll tell you right now. I have a copy of the Joe Malone. I have a copy of the Malone. I used to have these 2 cards. I don't anymore. I have the Bobby Orr. I have the Gretzky. I have 2 of the Austin Matthews. Don't have any of these. I don't have any of these or these. I have several Gretzky rookies. I have the O-Pee-Chee. I don't have the second year Topps card. I have the box bottom and the regular rookie Lemieux. I don't have the Gretzky box bottom. I covet it. I don't have this Gretzky. I do have a Yager and a Brett Hull rookie, which I love. I don't have any of these, nor these, nor those, nor those, nor those. But I've owned some of those other cards. Josh, do you have any of these cards that are available tonight on Fanatics that we're watching?
No, I don't. But there's a lot of them I would like to have. And the one I'm really coveting is the Austin Matthews Essential Credentials. I really, really like that card.
Dare I ask, are you in on it tonight?
No.
Don't answer. No. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I shouldn't.
No, wait, what grade are yours? Like, are yours raw or?
No, I think they're both graded. Let me go take a look in my database of cards I collect. I have a folder called Inserts, and then I have a subfolder called Essential Credentials. And I scroll down to the Matthews. I have a PSA 8 and I have a BGS 9.
Okay.
There's my 9. Oh, wrong way. Oh, wrong way again. And there's my PSA 8 right there. And I forget which one. Oh, I probably graded the one with PSA. So I probably bought the BGS 9 on the open market and got my raw one graded with PSA. Came back an 8.
Yeah, I'm really hunting more glow peaches at the expo. That's what
good.
I'm.
Well, good. I know you like the glow peaches.
Well, I'm dumb. I should have bought your Ovechkin last year, and I didn't. And then I learned how rare they actually are. Yeah.
Well, Webo2 bought the Ovechkin from me at the expo. If you've seen him in the chat,
Oh, good. I'll stock him. Yeah.
His name's Bill. If I see you guys near at the same time at the expo in a couple weeks, I'll put you in touch. Maybe you can work something. He's a reasonable guy. Maybe you guys can work something out. All right, the second year Ted Lindsay has sold for $840. I love it. PSA 8, beautiful card. And the 72 O-Pee-Chee Bobby Hull does $288. The second year O-Pee-Chee Mario Lemieux box bottom does $57. And the SPX Force Blue Gretzky, Messier, McDavid, Draisaitl 1 of 1 does $504, while the exquisite Connor Bedard Tribute does $384. It's raw. It's out of 299. Let's refresh one more time and see what we're left with. Maybe 5 or 6 cards left that we're looking at here. We've got the Malone, the third year Gordie. We've got the Johnny Busick rookie, the Norm Allman rookie, the second year Bobby Orr, and the Gretzky Rubies is up to 6 1/4 now. Oh, we also have the Austin Matthews. So we was at 10 cards. Oh, 3, 6. Oh, only 7. Only 7 left that we are watching. So let's let that simmer. We have 2 minutes left in this window, Josh. And look at this. What already has bids? Well, the Busick has a bid to get into the next window, while the Gordie and the Malone need a bid. Otherwise, they're going to end in a minute 50. The Norm Allman's going to the next window, as is the Bobby Orr. The Gretzky Rubies needs a bid to get to the next window, while the Austin Matthews is already on its way to the next 5-minute all-access extended bidding window. Perry's custom card has a question for Josh. He says, I'm south of Duluth. Is there any good card show in Duluth? Thank you.
That's a great question, Perry. I moved 2 days after my high school graduation. Almost 30 years ago now, I moved away. So I'm not a good, I go back to see family up there. I don't know how big of a hobby community there is in northern Minnesota. My inclination is not great, but there's a pretty decent one in the Twin Cities.
There you have it, Perry. Anony says, I won't be attending the Toronto Expo, but I sent in a card to a private signer, and They will have it signed by Ed Belfour. Very cool. Will be great to see Ed Belfour at the Expo here in about 10 days until I get on a plane. Josh, are you driving up this year, or are you flying?
Yeah, we're driving. We have a ridiculous amount of stuff that we have to transport, and so we're driving.
Have you thought yet about what's going to happen at the border when you come into Canada?
We're going to get searched for sure, but we're not going to have anything illegal, so it's just going to take time.
They might ask you, what are you going to do? Are you going to work? That's something to consider, that you're just going to do a podcast. You're not actually working unless you are, but just,
we're not getting paid for anything. So we're actually paying to do everything we're doing. So very comfortable saying that we're just going to produce some content, but we're no threat of any running into any issues there.
Good. Okay. So the 1911 C55 Joe Malone PSA 1 has sold for $372, as has the third year Gordie Howe Parkhurst PSA 5 sold for $630. These 3 cards are still available, and the Gretzky Rubies has already been extended to the next window, while the Austin Matthews Essential Credentials is still alive, needs a bid to get to the next window right now. So we had 2 more cards sell of 7, I think we were still looking at, and now we're left with 2 of the 1957 Topps Hall of Fame rookies, being Johnny Busick and Norm Allman. The second year Bobby Orr PSA 7s at $1,400 now. $750 on the Wayne Gretzky Rubies, and $440 on the Austin Matthews Essential Credentials Rookie out of 42 Rookie Year card. We need a bid there, and we need a bid on Bobby Orr for all 5 to get carried into the next 5-minute window, which is the last of the 5-minute windows. And at the top of the hour here, in about 8.5 minutes, we will move into I believe, straight into the 1 minute.
Yep.
All access extended bidding windows. And that's when things start to wrap up pretty quick. This is the point in the night usually here, Josh. We've been going for an hour 20. This show usually lasts between 85 and 100 minutes sort of thing. We maybe go till 10 after the hour. And this is when I start thinking to myself, okay, the weekend of content is over. I can go relax, maybe watch some TV, just chill out. And then we have the week ahead. How about you? How do you start feeling once you've recorded the episode? Do you have more work to do on the Gong Show that's going to release at 3 a.m. later tonight in terms of editing or anything, or is that all taken care of?
No, now it's just the panic to get ready to record on Wednesday again.
Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, we were in the studio today. I was guest host, as I mentioned earlier, on the Gong Show. We started at about 1:30 my time, and we didn't get done till about 4 to 5. I think I jumped out of the studio. So 3.5 hours or so. But, it was just cool hanging out with 3 hobby buddies, with you, Louie, and Phil. It was just fun to chill out, and such a chill podcast. I'm really happy that I got to guest host on it today.
So I got a note for you, Jeremy, really quick on the Gretzky Star Rubies. This is all just sort of, again, reflecting on the insanity of the pandemic. So in the Fanatics Weekly in July of 2022, so just over 2 years ago, a PSA 10 copy of this card sold for $5,520 US.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. The Rubies went on a run along with a lot of other rare 2010s hockey inserts, PMGs, jambalayas, Rubies, amongst a couple of some medallions and that. But I gotta recall what grade my copy of this Gretzky Rubies is. Let's go find out, guys. I keep images of all my cards in a Dropbox folder, which I have the app on my phone. I keep it very well organized, so I can go right into my Rubies folder. And wait a sec, I don't have this card. Oh no, I do. There it is. Yeah, it just looks different. Mine's a BGS 9.5. So that's the same card. It looks different, but just a different lighting is all that is. Yeah, mine is numbered 29 of 50. Ooh, isn't that Draisaitl's number? 29? Yep. Hey, one Oiler legend to another, if we're calling Draisaitl an Oilers legend at this point in time. 28 seconds, guys, in the second last 5-minute window. We still need a bid on Austin Matthews, and we need a bid on the Bobby Orr. Will they come, or is that it for the night? I think that might be it, but let's see what happens here. And then we'll go to a couple comments in the chat, guys. Thank you for those. 10 seconds now. 1,400 on Bobby Orr, 440 on Austin Matthews. There's the bid on Austin Matthews. It's now 4 seconds. Bobby Orr does not get a bid, it looks like. So 1,400 should turn into 1,680. There it is. 1,680 on the second year PSA 7 Bobby Orr. And Austin Matthews gets a bid. Somebody came in at the last second and said, no. You are not.
So the highest sale I could find on that card, I've looked in both Card Ladder sales history and on TerraPeak, is for any copy is $355 from last October, and that was a PSA 8
for this Matthews here.
Yep. So this is already in, quote unquote record sale territory.
And you look at what the Young Gun sells for, $1,000 or so, and there's 5,000 of them graded, and there's only 42 of these total, and they have the essential credentials, brand equity behind them, and we're sitting at 450, which is 540, I guess, after the buyer's premium. Seems kind of weird that they're, to me anyway, that they're so cheap. I wonder what I paid for my BGS 9 Austin Matthews. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that now. If I can, I'm happy to share it. Let's see if I can find that. Matthews Essential. Let's see. Not there. I'm going to try and find this, guys, because I'm super curious now. If I can find what I paid for mine. Again, it's also a BGS 9, but I don't think I'm going to be able to find this. Oh, what's this here? Ah, I found it. Yes, I found it. I bought mine for $116.16.
When?
In November of 2019. So
wow.
Quite some time ago. Yeah. Okay. So where are we at now? We have lost the second year Bobby Orr. We're going to push it off the screen. Rome Rant in the house says that 57 top set is magic. And yeah, I mean, the Busick, the Ullman, and what's the Glenn Hall? Those are the three key Hall of Fame rookie cards from 57 tops. Rome Rant is a high-end collector of, and I don't mean high-end cards. I mean, he is a high-end guy. I look at Rome Rant and I think that's a classy dude right there. His son too. Great guys. And they collect nice vintage, high grade. So I'm guessing, Rome, that you have PSA 9s or 10s in both of these cards already. If not, you're soon to get them, I would think. And I agree. They're just awesome. I love them. Also, the Gordie Howe is a fantastic card, as is the Terry Sawchuk in this set. I'm a big fan of them. Rome, good to see you in there. Peeps says, first win on Fanatics Collect tonight. Peeps, that's awesome. If you didn't use the Sports Cards Live affiliate link to bid on those, please use it before you pay. Or if you did, I'm very, very grateful and thank you so much. Professor says, I dropped out on the Matthews Essential Credentials. Backup plan is to possibly pick up a PSA 7 that is available. Good luck to you on that, Professor. And Doghouse Hockey Cards, whose name I believe came up today during our recording, Josh.
Yep.
Says those Essential Credentials values will skyrocket late 2024, early 2025 once Bedard has one in the EX release. That's consistent with what you were just saying earlier, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
All right, a minute 12 left. Austin Matthews has now been extended into the 1 minute window, so we could see more action there or not. We will see. The Johnny Busick PSA 1 has been extended. The Norm Ullman is at $72. Needs a bid in the next 56 seconds, as does the Gretzky Rubies. It's at $750, which is $900 out the door right now. So we'll see what happens. LGC tells us that Rome owns the 57 tops Johnny Busick PSA 9, 1 of 1, none higher. Well, thank you, LGC, for letting us know that. And I mean, I'm not surprised I probably knew that already. I've seen some of Rome's cards on display before, like at the Edmonton Expo when he's brought them out of the vault, and he's got one of the best vintage hockey collections out there. So I'm not surprised, and congratulations to him on that. All right, 15 seconds left here, guys. We need bids on Ullman and Gretzky. Everything else is going. Let's see if Gretzky can get a bid in the next 7 seconds here, or it will sell for $900. 3 seconds left. Here we go. Looks like no further bids. Yeah. Is it going to turn over? Like I thought. Am I misreading something, Josh? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, okay, it takes like 10 seconds, I found.
Yeah. It's funny because last round, one of them turned over right away. This one took about 12 seconds. In any event, the Gretzky Star Rubies sells for $900 for the PSA 8. And the Norm Ullman low grade PSA 3 sells for $86. It's low grade, but it's actually nice outside of that centering. And we are now left with 2 cards on the docket that are still going. And this window is almost over already because it is a minute long. We need bids on both cards, or this auction that we are watching. The cards will be over. $460 on the Matthews, $80 on the Busick. Josh, 4 seconds left. Can we see action? Doesn't appear to be that way.
Nope.
Let's let it turn over. We might have to wait 5 more seconds here for these things to register. There we go. There we go. So it looks like the Busick did get a bid from 80 to 82, and the Matthews ends at $552. That's funny. The professor says bought the PSA 7 Matthews, but cannot use the SCL code. Bought it online at Walmart. That's hilarious. But Sam Dillinger picked up the Gretzky PSA 7. Asks me, Jeremy, do you still have the 7.5 for sale? I do not, Sam Dillinger. That moved quite quickly at the Van City Card Show 2 weeks ago. So no, I do not have that any longer. It will not be coming with me to the expo. It has found itself a great new home, actually, someone who I've sold several cards to at various shows over the last couple of years. All right, 84 now on Johnny Busick, and that's the PSA 1. Josh, I never would have guessed that would be the Survivor card tonight, would you?
No. We got a bidding war, $2 increments.
I probably would have guessed the Rubies, Gretzky, or the Prime Choice Reserve. One of those two might have been my guess for Survivor, if I'm being, as honest as I can with myself, because it's tough now that we know what happened, but that's where I would have been, I think. So
I think I would have bet on the Crosby Shield.
Interesting. Yeah, could easily have been a bidding war on that one too. I see where you're coming from for sure. Well, we have 80. It's already been extended to the next window, so we'll see what happens there. But this is one I think we could even just sort of wind up, Josh. Unless there's any more questions or comments from the chat, we are going to wrap this up. Let's see what happens here. We are just down to a second here, but it looks like it's going to go to the next window anyway. Oh no, it's sold. It sold for $101, so that's great. That means that we can kind of move on. Here, I'm going to show you guys some cards I was watching in other sports tonight, because I was watching. I'm curious just to remind myself what else I had on my watch list. So let's see. Oh no, I'm still in hockey. Oh, what happened here? No, this is my favorites from this whole auction. So let's see. Oh, I was watching a Reggie Jackson 1970 Topps PSA 8. I love that card. Love that image. I was watching a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar PSA 10 81 Topps base card. Ooh, the Michael Jordan Hot Shots BGS 95 sells for $7,500. Pretty cool. I had a PSA 10. I sold it on Fanatics about a year ago for I have somewhere between $20,000 and $30,000. Pretty crazy. Look at that. Holy mackerel. 09 exquisite Michael Jordan jersey out of 25 sells for $6,000. And the Gretzky molten metal fusion titanium out of 50. Sorry, did I say Gretzky? I meant Griffey. Sells for $6,600. Love the Griffey.
Are those way lower than you would have expected? Or I don't have context for those.
Yeah, no, thanks for asking. The Griffey is kind of right where I expected. The Jordan, I think the reason I was like, holy moly, is because I own the parallel of this Jordan that is the patch card out of 10 with a sick patch. And if the jersey out of 25 sells for $6,000, what's my patch out of 10 worth? And it's a beautiful, beautiful patch that I kind of thought maybe I was into it for too much. Maybe I valued it too high when I got it, but this makes me feel a lot better about that card that I own. I'll show you a picture of it just for fun here. I can find it quickly on my phone. There it is. It's a BGS 7.5, which I don't really care about that whatsoever. But I mean, look at that patch.
Wow. That's amazing.
So that and versus hold on. Oh, versus that with just an all red sort of napkin-y patch. So yeah, I like seeing $6,000 on this for sure. What else was I watching non-hockey just for fun? Oh, a beautiful, look at this Kareem Abdul-Jabbar card. I mean, just gorgeous. 3-color. I believe it's game worn on card auto, 10/10 on auto and card. Let's see what the back of this says though, in terms of if it's game worn or not. We don't often do this, Josh, but kind of sometimes it's fun to look at some other sports, right?
Oh yeah.
This enclosed game worn material. Yeah, game worn. So it says, at least. I mean, pretty cool. Was that it? I guess that's all I was watching for non-hockey. So
hey, go to basketball. I saw there was one of the Wemby Mercury cards on there. Just curious to see what those are going for.
Sure thing. Let me get out of my favorites, go to all items. And I'll just search it up here. Mercury. Let's see what comes up. Well, I guess these are them here. You got
there's a patch auto that was over. Just go back to the weekly and just go to highest price. There was a big one.
Well, how many of these? I just want 1950. How many of these are there all together? Oh, wow. There's a ton of these on here. Holy moly. It's not really ending here, is it?
No.
Oh, look at that. $108,000. 108,000. Is that the one you were looking at, Josh?
I think so.
Look at that.
Is that tonight that sold? Does it say tonight?
Yep. Yeah, that's tonight.
Now,
why is that on the premiere?
I don't know. Wow.
Crazy. $108,000. But it's got Michael Jordan's Jumpman logo in there. So that's pretty cool. I mean, that's just really cool. But wow, autograph, that's not a sticker, is it?
Can you look at the provenance on the patch? I want to see if they listed the game.
Will. Top certified autograph issue and game used memorabilia. It says it right there on the front. Autograph is nice. It's got a streak through it, but I don't mind that at all. Yeah, it's a cool card. I'm not super crazy about the overall aesthetic of it. It's got that, what do we call them? What were these called? Silhouette. It's just like a silhouette card like we've seen before with like the die cutter on the body over the patch window. But hey, pretty cool nonetheless. Pretty cool piece.
Yeah.
Well, there we have it, guys. Thank you, Jeff McMahon. Appreciate that. Producer Louie, good to see you. Nice spending time with you today. Is F1 going on right now? Is that live right now?
I don't know.
I'm going to go put it on if it is while I relax this evening. Chat, thank you so much for joining us. As always, Josh, what a day. What a day. Thank you. And we will be back here next Sunday again. And then we will not be doing a show the Sunday after that because we will both be either still in Toronto area for Expo or we will be traveling. I actually don't travel till the Monday, so I'll be in Toronto that night.
Yep.
Josh, well done. Thank you. Chat, thank you, guys. Josh, anything you want to say before I end this?
No, check out me and Jeremy Lee. 4 hours more of us. 3 a.m. on the Hockey Cards Gongshow Podcast.
Thanks, Josh.
All right.
Laura, appreciate you. Perry, thank you very much. Chirp Enforcer, appreciate it as well. And Ali, thank you so much, guys. Glad that you look forward to it. That's awesome. With that, everybody, thanks again for joining. Have a great week ahead. Don't have the Monday blues. You have 5 whole days to look forward to next weekend starting tomorrow. With that, this episode of the Fanatics Collect Weekly Hockey Auction Ending Watch Party here on Sports Cards Live is now over. Good night, everybody.